So now we saw what a smart contract is. Smart contracts are computer programs. There will be a lot of smart contracts inside a blockchain. Smart contracts are business logics that are programmed using the technologies called Hyperledger and Ethereum. And there are few other technologies as well. However, for blockchain, enterprise blockchain solutions, Hyperledger is dominantly used, and IBM uses Hyperledger. And for the Walmart case, Hyperledger has been used, and this decides at each point of a transaction how a transaction has to be validated, and this will very smartly pick up if there is any effort to tamper the data. So the right people who are adhering to the policies that are set by the company for each transaction will be or could be rewarded, and people who are not uh, you know doing justice or adhering to the policies, anybody for that matter, can be found, traced, and there can be a very constructive discussion with them about how they can improve their service. So that's the point here. And uh, let us get into the next part of smart contract. Now I request you to focus on the right side of where do they run. You may ask, so where is a smart contract? Smart contracts runs on company specific nodes in a private channel. Private channel in the sense, imagine, as I discussed with you in the previous module, if I'm the end customer of a product from a departmental store, and there is a person in the billing counter. Now this is a node where a billing happens, and I receive the product after paying for the product, and this is one channel, and there is a smart contract. So this smart contract ensures if the money is being paid, and if the QPR code is being activated after the money is being paid, and if the consumer's number is the right number that is updated, and he is able to see the information about the product. So this is what a smart contract is. So in a business chain or in a transaction chain in a business, you will have many smart contracts, and each node has a smart contract. This is how it is. And if you have to extend this example to the finance department as well, they will have their own smart contract. They will get to know if the invoice raised, if the invoice has been raised by the farmer, because the farmer can raise the invoice if he has handed over his produce or his vegetables to the transporter, and if uh, the information is being found to be true, the information comes to the node called finance, and the finance department will automatically raise a payment request for the person who has supplied that, and the payment happens automatically. So there is a lot of automation that happens because of blockchain, and because the information is being simply trusted, the reason that it cannot be hampered, and the smart contracts are designed so well. There is less of human intervention that has to be done in terms of verification or talking to somebody and seeking approval and all that. It can simply happen on, and this helps organizations to focus on higher level of value additions to their customers. Yeah. Now this is one sample screenshot of how this traceability works. For example, if you are in the seat of owning the Walmart store, and you have to trace one particular product, and you have to get all the information that is required about the product, we have these many options about that. So you can simply select this, and you may either enter the product unique ID, or you may select or a range of dates from which you want the product information and all that, and you can get the information about that. So this will all happen on a real-time basis. At different levels, you can set permissions and access options so that it is information without any any level of hierarchy, any level of intermediaries that are involved in this. Yeah, so this is what we have seen so far. So imagine that at each and every point of a transaction, a block is getting created, and that block has all the information that is about the transaction, and that block is approved, checked by a smart contract. A smart contract is a program that is written based on the requirements of the company by people like you who will become blockchain solution creators. And for creating those smart contracts, we use programming languages like Java or Golang, which we'll be discussing later, don't worry. And this is what happens at each and every block, and each and every blocks get created, and the information inside the block is directed to the relevant parties or the relevant report generation points that will create reports, and then it will send to the right people who will want to access those reports and see and make decisions out of that. This is how it happens. And again, remember, these every block, every part of this entire chain of business is immutable and it cannot be changed. And any change that is any change or any attempt that is made to add something, delete something, or update something is again created as a separate block. So if a smart contract is written in a way that if there is an attempt to update any information, it will the smart contract will automatically say that at this particular node called, let's say, a particular supplier, he has actually tried to go and manually enter the GPS information or some other information. So the supplying manager or the buying manager gets to know that this is the supplier who did not adhere to the company's policies, and he can take actions on that. So it all happens in real time. Yeah. Now we did discuss about these words. Now let us see the definition. Peer contains a smart contract and a copy of the ledger. Now a peer is an entity in the blockchain network. Please do not imagine that a peer is a human who is involved or a particular computer that is involved. A peer is an entity in the blockchain, and it also has a copy of ledger. Now, a node does not contain a does not contain a smart contract or copy of ledger. It only sends or reads data. If I have to tell an example of peer, the finance department is a peer because it has a smart contract that enables the finance department to send a payment for the supplier based on the information that is being approved based on the smart contract, right? And it also has a copy of the ledger because if the finance department has to get the history of transactions, then it should have access to the ledger. So it has a copy of the ledger. But a node, for example, an IoT device that is connected to the API or the application, let's imagine the weighing scale example or the GPS locator. This is a node that simply sends or reads data. That's all. It does not contain a smart contract. It simply sends the data, right? So a peer is an entity and node is also an entity, but the meaning differs based on whether there is a smart contract in that node or not, and whether it has access to the copy of the ledger, right? And so far in this entire course till now, we have been discussing only on permissioned blockchains, and these are not permissionless blockchains. Uh, if in the case of bitcoins and other cryptocurrencies, it is all permissionless blockchains, which means anybody can be part of that. But as the scope of this course is not about bitcoins, we are not discussing. But for the sake of knowing the concept of permissioned blockchain as a terminology, you have to know that. If somebody is going to ask you, is enterprise blockchain permissionless or permissioned, this is a permission blockchain because you give certain amount of access to certain amount of people, and this access should be relevant to them, and that is how it is. So if you read the explanation, permission blockchain or blockchain networks that require access to be part of. In these blockchain types, a control layer runs on top of blockchain that governs the actions performed by allowed participants and not by everybody. If somebody should go and access, for example, if a supplier has to go and access his record of payments received from his customer, then he should be first of all part of the network, where he should be allowed to see the data, not by simply having an app which is he can download, or he can simply copy the exe file and have it on the computer, but he should have the permission for that. So that is how a permissioned blockchain works.